How you going? Back on a tram?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to figure out how to mute my mic so that everybody doesn't hear everything going on, but I don't know. I might just have to disconnect and then back.
No, that's all right. I can mute you, no problem. But at the moment, you're all good. Just give me 1 second.
Okay. How's your day?
All right. Awesome. Okay. It is good. It is good. How was yours?
I was listening to a lot of Limp Bizkit.
Pardon?
I was listening to a lot of Limp Bizkit.
Oh.
Do you know who Limp Bizkit are? Yeah.
That song. Back the fuck up.
Faith.
Keep rolling, 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 rolling.
Yes.
Keep rolling, rolling, rolling.
Yep.
So this shit right
That
here.
one too. Yep.
Da Limp Bizkit. I don't know the rest. Yes,
Something
chocolate
like that,
starfish. Yeah. Chocolate starfish.
Yeah, and the hot dog flavored water. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. I like it, right? It's whatever floats your boat. And music is so therapeutic. And if you can tune your music with how you're feeling, it can be very, very healing.
Yeah, in a weird way, it kind of was. I was lucky enough to get work where they put a spreadsheet in front of me and said, "Can you fix this?" And I said, "Yes." And they said, "We'll take all the other tasks off you today if you can just fix this, because senior management and the managers need it." And I said, "Done." So I plugged in and turned off my emails and transferred my phone so that it was going to Jenny, and just plugged into that. It was great. It's like 2:45 rolled around. My boss came up to me and he goes, "Did you eat?" And I said, "Yes." Jenny hit me with a rock. I ate. And he's like, "Okay." And then he's like, "Well, it's 1:45, has the spreadsheet." I said, "Oh, it's nearly done." And he goes, "Oh, if you just want to go, it's fine." It's like, "I know you have training tonight." Are you for real? So yeah, that was nice.
He must have.
So yeah.
He must have tapped into what it was that you needed for yourself.
Yeah, in a weird way, like definite. I'm a firm believer that you meet anybody new, you've met everybody before. The people in your life, you've met them before. Simon had an impact in previous lives, like as if he was a brother or a neighbor or somebody close. I don't know, but he knows.
Yeah,
he knows.
Also too.
So yeah,
that's a direct correlation with the energy that you put out, right? So there are some times where I may not have the capacity to myself. I may not have the capacity in myself, maybe deliver a call. And I know that, right? There are some times where that client, and it actually happened on Monday. On Monday, I had a call, and on the way home, I was just energetically wrecked. Anyway, so what happened? She cancelled 30 minutes before. Absolutely perfect. I planned on spending 30 minutes of grounding myself before I got on the call. However, what she did was then cancel, and I was like, great, I'm going to go meditate for 30 minutes and have a nap if I have a nap. If not, I'll just set it for 45 minutes and see what happens. It actually worked out perfectly. But that would come from the energy that I got. And it just so happened that she could fit perfectly into another time slot for me this week. So I was like, hell, thank you.
Yeah.
So sometimes,
yeah, exactly.
The energy that you put out. Yeah, and the universe is like, here you go. I know you need this right now. And it delivers in a different way, aka through your boss.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, he does that a lot. So, and he knows I'm grateful for him.
Yeah. Well,
So,
that's awesome. That's awesome. Give me 1 sec. I'm just going to let Sandy
he
on.
knows. I tell him every day. Yeah. Okay.
Hey, Sandy. All right. So, Sandy, oh, yeah, here she goes. Here she is. What's up, Sandy?
Yeah.
You know.
I don't know who she is. Can you hear me, Sandy? I'm not quite sure. Yell out. I'll send it. Hold on 1 second. Just gonna send her.
Her microphone thing is on mute. Looks like it's got like an X through it.
Yeah, it's on mute. You should still be able to hear. All right, I'm just going to mute you for a second, Leslie. I need to downscale the background music for 1 sec. Ooh. Sandy, can you hear me? Oh, you can hear. Awesome. Brilliant. Sorry, I just also called you Sandy as with a Y instead of an IE. All right. And good thing that you can see the talk screen. So tonight is mostly Q&A, right? So Leslie, for yourself, is there anything in particular that you want to cover off on tonight or talk about for yourself? And if so, can you type your questions into the text box? Sandy, I'm just going to unmute you. Oh, I can't unmute you. You got to unmute yourself. Oh, here we go.
I've unmuted.
Oh, there she is. Hey, Sandy. Hi.
I didn't know if I should unmute and then you have 15 people chatting.
Yeah, no, well, it's only one person chatting. It's just Leslie's on the tram, so it sounds like there's 15. Yeah. People
Oh, right, right.
All right. So I want you guys to have a think about it. I'm going to bring you guys up for 10 minutes each and we'll go through your stuff or anything there is that you want to cover off. And I'm going to start with you, Sandy, and then Leslie, I'll come to you if that's cool, because then by then you might be off the tram. I don't know where. Yeah, maybe not. All right. Sandy, how you going?
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah,
good.
feeling good this week, just like last week.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tell me about your goodness.
Just not letting things get to me, talking to myself more.
Yeah.
About like how I'm feeling or why I'm feeling things.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just I'm choosing to be in a good mood all the time. Yeah, which is making me feel really good.
Oh, what a surprise, huh? And I love your language. I love your language already. I'm choosing to be in a good mood. Amazing. Can you give me some?
Well, we can't always be in a good mood.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't know it's good if you didn't have the contrast of it being shit, right? So it's important for us to be able to remember that. Yeah. And if you guys read an email that I sent out today, I was like, I'm like in a fierce mood today. Like I am very fierce today. I was like, I'm dressed like a gangster for starters, right? I've got Hendrix t-shirt on, got my cap on, went and trained like a boss, but I literally have a fire lit up my ass in a good way, but it's about, I almost feel like it's like taming a lion, right? So there's good stuff coming out, but there's also, it's like on the verge. I'm not quite sure what's happening, but I think like a shift is happening for myself. And and if I like am honest with you with the shift that's going on within me, it is actually, I'm getting to a point where I have a lot to say and I am not saying it because I'm going to ruffle some feathers. So, yeah, so for me, it's about like stepping more into my truth and actually voicing the opinions and things that I have, and not allowing the fear of judgment or criticism from people come through. So what happens is in business life, like in my business life, I do that for a while. And then what happens is I attract or cultivate an energy of people that are like, fuck yeah, like, yes, awesome, da, da, da. And then all the people who like judge or criticize just happen to fall away, right? They just happen to, you know, fall by the wayside, doesn't matter, whatever. They hark up and then they go. However, sometimes when we get on this bandwagon of everybody being like, yeah, pro boss woman, like, yeah, awesome, Eliza, like, this is good, this is good. And then what happens is I have growth and evolution for myself. And then it's like I peel another layer off and then I want to go one layer deeper with my message or things that I want to say. So then it's like repeat the same process again, which is voicing my opinion in more of a fierce way. Like, it's like that balance between like fierceness and then coming from a place of love. You can be fierce coming from a place of love, except when I haven't been used to doing it, it's like, oh shit. I'm like, I've got a voice in it. And then I start to filter it because I'm like, wow, that's pretty full on, but it's actually the truth of what I feel. Right? So now I feel like it's gurgling below the surface and I just want to be like, right? So it's like, it's interesting. And it's a very like interesting pattern that I run. And it happens with everyone. It's just dressed differently, right? So even for yourself, Sandy, like the layer that you've recently shredded, right? That you've recently let go of. You've got this like new experience, yeah? And you're like, fuck yeah, like life is good. I'm choosing to be good. This is awesome. I changed my story around that. I have this beautiful connection. I don't need to see something to believe it because now I feel it. This is so good. I'm writing it out. And then boom, something in life will happen again that will be there to challenge you. And you can either choose to lean into that or step away from it. So that's what happens like when we do self-work or we have growth, because it's like, boom, I'm feeling good. This is amazing. Like I want to stay like this all the time because this feels good. And then it's almost like we have a rug pulled out underneath our feet and it's like, fuck, what the fuck just happened? What is going on? Why am I in this funk? Like what is happening, right? But we get so fixated on the funk. Leslie's like, yeah, I'm feeling it. She's going through her own at the moment, right? So, but that's what happens. And that's like, is the beauty of doing the work. It's also the motherfucking challenge of the work as well, because sometimes, we like to prepare for it or be ready for it. And that is not always within our control. So it's important, like when we are in the midst of feeling good, like roll with it, run with it, like go balls deep with it, like just amazing, right? And then it's when something happens or we get in a funk or a low mood or something falls, it's like rather than reacting to that, you then just take a really big deep breath. It's like, all right. New lesson, new shift, new thing. And then you just face it and you pace your way through it. And the thing is, what happens is, though, when you're not used to this pattern for starters, or we're not aware of it, it kind of gets us by surprise. And then what happens is we get we get down or we get stuck. And this is something Lauren's going through at the moment. So I'm hoping she jumps on tonight. this is happening for Lauren at the moment. She's going through something huge, like shift. She doesn't quite know what it is yet, but it's frustrating the fuck out of her going through it, right? Because she just doesn't want to be there, right? But it just comes in waves.
Yeah.
And then the more that you get to know yourself, the more it's like, all right, cool. I'm in a funk. Shit's happening. Not sure what's going on. That's cool. I'm just going to sit with it for a while. And it's about being able, it's about like practicing being in that space when you're in it without reacting. And then that is a fine art.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, no, because on the back of what like I've released week with you, I kind of kept it to myself, and then on the weekend I actually was telling my mum about it because I'm feeling so good and whatnot. But her reaction kind of surprised me, and so I didn't like jump and get emotional straight away and be like, what the hell? I was like, hang on a second. And so I've kind of just been thinking about it all week, and why is it making me feel like that and things like that. So it's interesting that my thinking is changing.
Yeah. So what, can I ask what your mum's reaction was?
Well, one, she didn't really have one. She was kind of like, well, that's really good you're getting something from it. But she said, can I ask, what did he say to you? That's the only thing she wanted to know, pretty much. And I was kind of like, yeah, what he said to me.
Yeah.
Not what I said to him or the emotion behind it or anything like that. It was just, what did he say to you kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, at the time I was like, oh, I don't really remember much. I just remember there being like a silence and we're just looking at each other kind of thing. And I kind of just left it at that. But then later I was like, hang on, why is that still resonating with me and concerning me? Yeah. So I'm kind of sitting with that at the moment, just deciphering it.
Do you have an idea?
Yes and no. Like I keep thinking different things. Like obviously she's dealing with it her own way. So I keep trying to look at it from her point of view as well. You know, she obviously wants answers that maybe she hasn't gotten yet. That's why she wanted his. But then I keep coming back to me and I get from it. But that comes back to my expectation of it, but I can't control that.
Awesome, right? So amazing, Sandy, because you're 100% bang on. She would have jumped straight to that because she would have been like, I want to feel what you're feeling, because she's seeing you like this. You're telling her this experience.
Yeah.
And I want to tell you a similar story. So, and I'll do it real quick. I went and seen a spiritual healer. And I had this thing happening where I was like, every time I would go to my sister's husband's house, or like my sister's husband's dad's house, whose mum passed this year, every time I would go there, and now we never got along, ever. She didn't like me, I didn't like her. It was very obvious. We made it very clear. It was fine. And when I went to see this spiritual healer, I didn't say anything to her about this. However, she came with a message for me in that session. She apologized.
Okay.
She apologized. She said that she didn't understand me. There were all this stuff. Now, this woman that I saw could possibly not have known this information. Anyway, my sister called me, and I chose not to tell my sister. The reason I chose not to tell my sister was because she's just not introduced to that kind of stuff. So I chose to keep it to myself, and then if I made a decision later to tell her that, I would. Anyway, she rang me, told me they were going out for dinner. It was actually Debbie's birthday, and as soon as she told me it was Debbie's birthday on that day, I started bawling my eyes out, and she was like, what's going on? And I just said, look, I just need you to hear me. I don't know what you're going to make of this. A little bit different for you, Sarah, but like, you know, it's just an experience that I've had. So I told her. The first thing that she wanted to know was, what did she say? And did she say anything about my sister? She was like, what did she say about me? Did she say anything about me?
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
and then she's like, why did she come to you? Right? Because we didn't like each other. And then the next thing that happened was she told her husband, and then her husband wanted to go. Her husband was like, can I have the number? I want to go see it. Because people, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Like what you're saying, and it was exactly the same thing. They just want their own closure. They possibly want one more time or one more connection with that person. And you got the experience, Andy. You got it. Why did you get it? What about me?
Yeah.
Right? Everyone always goes into, just like you.
Yeah.
What about me? Right? So it's a natural human reaction to be like, to take things, what about me? Or are you serious? Like, did you hurt my feelings? Like, what the fuck? Like, we take things as self-criticism. We take things as self-judgment and make them mean something.
Yeah.
You are right.
Yeah. But I've chosen to not let it, sorry, go.
No, go.
No, so I was obviously been thinking about it, but I'm choosing not to let it kind of affect me. But at the same time, I'm still processing it.
Yeah, for sure. Right, because you're unconscious.
But I'm not going to get all down because it wasn't.
Yeah.
Sorry, go.
No, that's right. I think it's lagging just like a little bit. So you're unconsciously, because you just told me all those answers. You were just like, yep, this is what she wants. Yep. Right? Unconsciously, though, your default pattern, which is what we discovered at the workshop that we did, which was what?
Yep. I'm not good enough.
Yep, that's cool. Mine's the same thing. So what that does is then your unconscious mind is like, oh no, Sandy, this is just another thing that's going to prove that you're not good enough, because it's not about you. It's not about you because you're not good enough.
Yeah.
Right? So your unconscious mind is definitely going to
that's exactly what's happened.
Yeah. Cool. So it's just a matter of changing your story, which you've already done, and just keep reminding yourself of those things. There will also be, which we will explore this tomorrow night on your private call, there will be some healing to do around your mum.
Yeah.
Yeah. We all have healing. If you watch my video from this morning about oh fuck, I talked about like 5 things because I was just like blah blah blah. But I was talking about from the ages of 0 to 7, and then our inner 2-year-old. When we our parents and us, we carry things on from our parents, right? Unless we consciously choose to become aware of them and then actively heal ourselves to move forward to do it differently, then we will then pass that on to our children, should we choose to have children. And then it goes on, right? But people are not, lots of people in this world are not conscious, which means that unconsciously their patterns just keep going through generation after generation after generation after generation, right? This is one of the things that inspires me the most. It's like, I get to stop the patterns with me. I get to learn about my patterns and change them consciously and unconsciously, so that should I choose to have children, they are going to grow up with a fuck ton of confidence. They're going to love their body from the minute they come out of my vagina. Yeah. They are going to love themselves daily, right? I'll be teaching them that since they can talk, they will be speaking that language, right? But I never got that. My mum, I love her dearly, and she loves everyone around her, and she would do anything for her children, grandchildren. She'd do anything for Hendrik. She'd do anything for anyone in my life. In fact, she's even done it for clients before, because my mum is just so giving and loving, right? The thing with my mum, she doesn't love herself that way. She loves others like that. She knows how to, and I had this beautiful conversation with my mum, not last week, the week before, actually. It was just me and mum, and I stopped in, had a coffee after I did that talk in Murubak. I don't know how we got onto it, but I was telling her about my talk and whatnot, and then I asked my mum about like a bit about her childhood, because I know a little bits and pieces, but I didn't know a lot. And she told me that her dad never once told her that he loved her. Not once. Ever.
Yeah.
Not once. I'm going to unmute you, Leslie, too, because you're home now. Sorry, I had you on silent. So my mum never was, and my mum's dad was an alcoholic drunk, right? So my mum and her children, my nan and her children, so there's 7 of them. My nan would make all of the children go hide when dad would come home because he would be drunk. And he was never physically abusive. However, he used to be verbally. And he never once, till the day he died, told my mum that he loved her. So because of that experience for my mum, mind you, I'm trying to not like, you know, have a mental breakdown and bawl my eyes out in front of her, because that's all my mum's ever done for me, is tell me how much she loves me. My mum tells me every time on the phone. My mum tells me every time she sees me, every time that I leave. Sometimes it's 2 or 3 times, right? And it was a beautiful, beautiful experience to have this conversation with my mum, where she said, Eliza, like, I never received it. And all I wanted for you and Sarah was just to grow up knowing that you were loved. Right? So because her dad was like that, that then encouraged my mum to be like that. However, what she wanted to do, because she didn't feel that love herself, she wanted to make sure we felt it. Right? But imagine if my mum knew how to love herself. Imagine if my mum knew how to love herself and then share that love with me and then teach me how to love myself. But because my mum didn't do that, or she's not like that, and I, when from such a young age, have done a lot of, you know, self-sabotaging, self-harm, a lot of hatred towards myself, like, you know, I only stopped hating myself probably about, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago. I only started then learning that I could love myself thanks to Louise Hay, who did this mirror work, right? And I wrote, I love you, Eliza, on the mirror. And I read it to myself. So, Leslie, I don't know if you know of this. You know who Leslie, oh my God, Leslie Hay. You know who Louise Hay is? No? Oh, you're unmuted, by the way, so you can talk.
Yeah. No, I said no. I don't know.
Okay, cool. I will find the actual one. So there is a Louise Hay meditation affirmation thing. Now, when I first heard her, I thought she was really wanky. She's very feminine. She's very soft. And at the time when I first got introduced to this woman, I was just like, what the fuck? Like, come on, woman, get some balls, is what my initial reaction for this woman, right? Because I wasn't ready to experience love for myself, and it plays out in what happens. So I'm going to tell you what happened. So I just wasn't ready to hear it, right? But I still listened to it, and there was something about it that I liked. So she spoke about, I love you, Eliza Kate Bingham, is what I wrote on my mirror. And then I chose to take up her 30-day challenge, which was to look in the mirror of a morning and say that to myself, looking at myself in the eyes. The first morning that I went to do it, physically could not do it. I cried, and I literally, the words would not come out of my mouth. I stood there, and then I got too upset. Then I got really fucking angry. I got pissed off, and then I just went back into the unconscious world of going to work and then helping everyone else. Which, when you think about this, knowing my past history with my mum, who innately taught, like, I love you, Eliza, I love you, Eliza, I love you, Eliza, give love, give love, give love. The line of work that I got into naturally was about giving love. So bras and things, I helped women love themselves for years. I told them how beautiful they were. I told them how amazing their boobs were, because I become obsessed with boobs, right? And then they would talk to me about their self-confidence issues, and then I would want to make them feel better. And I was always making other people feel better. Then I got into PT. What else am I doing? Making people like feel better. Love yourself, love yourself, love yourself. But I was still learning how to do that myself, right? Or I didn't know at the start. And it wasn't until I started to learn to love myself that I started to attract some pretty amazing clients and have deeper, more profound connections with them. And then I was truly helping them. So the thing is, I can't help you if I can't help myself. But I have learned this, or I've had to, I guess, in an unconscious way, force myself to learn it, because I put myself in an environment where I would never survive if I didn't learn how to fill my own cup up or love myself first. So you can see how this plays out, right? So I get to change the pattern, like right here, right now. So because of all the lessons that I've learned and everything experience that I've been through, should I choose to have children, I then get to change the pattern. I then get to change it as I become more consciously aware of all these things. Doesn't mean I won't revert to the old pattern, because fuck, that's the easiest pattern in me, right? Is to love others and not myself. However, if you continue on this self path of like growth and evolution, and you keep learning all these things through your different experiences, everything always becomes a valuable experience for you in your life. There's no such thing as failure. There's no such thing as fucking up. There's no such thing as getting it wrong. There's no such thing as not achieving something, because if you're always learning, or you're always experiencing things, and then you're looking to take the nuggets from whatever happened there and then put them in your backpack and then carry that along, right? Then it's like your life just becomes a chapter of stories, a chapter of, a book of chapters of stories of your life. You guys know what I'm saying? Do you hear me? So I went on a massive tangent there to sum up the experience that I had with this 30-day challenge. I can't remember the day, but I definitely know it was about a week that I could say it and actually look at myself in the eye for the full amount of time. At the end of the 30 days, something different happened, right? So I would look in the mirror and I'll be like, I love you, Eliza K. Bingham. Like, you are fine. I love you. And what would happen was, I felt like I was flirting with myself in the mirror. And then obviously I'm already smiling when I say it, right? Hearing me say it and looking at myself, I'd be like smiling, like off, like whatever, from saying that to myself. Because think about it right now. Imagine how it feels when you have a loved one say to you, oh, I love you. I love you so much, Leslie. Like, Sandy, I fucking love you to bits, right? Imagine when people say things like this to you, you feel it, right? When I said to you the other day, Leslie, about, I can't remember what you wrote, but fuck, it was funny. And I was just like, man, you're like the sunshine in, like, even on a sunny day. Yeah. So,
was it when I offered, plausible deniability?
Yeah.
Plausible deniability.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I was just like, I fucking love you, woman. Like, when we receive love from others, it feels amazing. Because literally we are taught to give love, and then, you know, it's better to receive love. If you can learn to do that for yourself, it's more profound work than you will ever do, like ever. Being able to love yourself will then allow you to have more compassion, more forgiveness for yourself, more patience. We start to slow down and then realize that each of these moments or days or, you know, experiences that we have are simply just experiences or moments. And then we can work our way through it or heal our way through it. Cool? All right.
Mm-hmm.
So on that note, I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to give the floor to you, Leslie, or Sandy. Just whatever you want to do is just come up, like if you've got questions, anything that pops up for you. Please keep in mind as well, anything that pops up for you or potentially might trigger you. So when I say trigger you, for example, it's like, oh, like that doesn't feel good, or it's like, oh, and you might even have a reaction where it's like, well, that's a bit wanky, or that's a bit fucking gay. That's not my style. That's not my jam. Whenever that pops up, write it down, because that, your level of resistance against that, there is like work to do there. So whenever you feel resistant towards somebody else, so Sandy, this is why I'm saying to you, there is work to do around healing, like with your mom. Like just removing some of
definitely
that you've created, right? Because she triggered the fuck out of you. Whenever you get triggered, it is an invitation for you guys to do some work on yourself, like to heal yourself in that way. Because if it didn't bother you, you wouldn't be affected by it. And you can be triggered by a freaking stranger. Yeah. You can be triggered by you know, somebody at work, somebody at home, your partner, your family, children. Children trigger you all the time, right? In fact, when my niece stayed with me the other weekend, she triggered the fuck out of me. All this stuff was like popping up because she's just talking with no filter, right?
Yeah.
So it was like, oh, you know, and if I went to say, oh, Imogen, don't say that or don't do that, it was like, wow, what is that about? So I made little notes about it because I was like, oh, this is really interesting for myself. Obviously, I used myself as a test dummy, so I wanted to come back to it later. I just didn't have time then. So does that make sense, Leslie? How are you doing?
Oh, after Monday, I felt really good. I showed up at the office and my work goes, you look, and I quote, "You look very cathartic. Are you all right?" And I said, I'm doing really well. I wasn't as well earlier this morning, but I saw Eliza and working through it. And she says, okay, if you want to talk about it, let me know. And then, like, obviously I took the weekend and I did the end of, but I feel like maybe I did it out of haste. I did full Netflix and chill the whole fucking weekend. Like I did about 2 hours of prep on Sunday, which I'm quite happy with because that's something I really wanted to get done. But I feel like I hermited out of spite. And I kind of didn't cancel plans. Like you were saying earlier, I didn't feel like I was going to be the person I wanted to be. And I wasn't sure I was going to maintain that person when I went out. And so my friend asked, she sent me a message. She says, hey, I'm hoping to catch up with Cam, but I don't want to put a cap on us about what do you want to do today. And so I told her, I said, you know what, don't worry about it. Just, you know, have fun with Cam. And stayed home. She said, are you all right? And I said, I'm in a weird headspace anyway, so I'll just stay here, which is cool. And she understands that and she respects that.
Amazing.
But then I get a message from her on Monday or yesterday, and I was so busy, and I didn't reply because I don't just, if you ask me how I'm going, I'm not going to say I'm fine and leave it at that, because I don't do that. I don't do small chat. I don't do small talk. I don't want to, I want to talk about death and marriage. I want to talk about sex and masturbation. I want to talk about what you think about this thing and that thing. I want to know what you think about everything going on in the world. When I say what's up, I don't want to hear, oh yeah, get fucked. Like, I want to know what's going through your head. What was that thought that just traipsed across your forehead? I want to know. And anyway, so when she sent me that message, she knows sometimes if I don't reply right away, it's because I'm busy. But when I do reply, it's gonna be a response. And almost probably 2 hours later, I get a message from Amanda, from Kingy, saying, hey, wanted to let you know that you did some really big numbers. Way to go. Really, you should be proud of yourself. And I'm sitting there, you know what my first thought was? And I'm so glad I was sitting at my computer, because below my screen, I have printed out, that was interesting. I wonder what that's about. To remind myself.
I love you. That is brilliant.
So it's taped on the bottom of my screen, because most of those things that make me go, comes from the computer screen. And so that little thing is on the bottom. And
please
so,
take a photo
really
of it. Please take a photo of it. I want to see it.
Oh, I will. And it's in pink and everything. And I'm just glad I was sitting there, and I just put my phone down, because my first thought was, Sandra must have said something to Kingy, like to Amanda. Because Sandra, my friend Sandra and Amanda work together. That's how they know. That's how I know Amanda. Sorry, Sandy. So I'm in a dragon boat team, and Amanda is one of our paddling coaches, and I know her through my friend Sandra. They work together, and they like same floor, open office type of thing. So there's like no walls. And Sandra is very much the type to where if I'm having a bad day, or if I'm having a consistently hard time, she'll go and she'll inquire. Like, she'll go and ask Amanda, because she knows I spend with Amanda because I'm in the boat with her. And so she'll just kind of go fishing. Hey, did something happen on the boat? Because Sandra knows I'll talk to her about it, but she's a communications manager at Medibank. And so she's almost like she's got to be prepped. She has to be primed. There are no impromptu meetings with that woman. I love her, but you don't. It's spontaneity. It's just kind of you there's lube. Sandra and I have this thing. She goes, Leslie, I need lube, because you've got to ease her into this. Let's go to the beach. No, you don't call up. You say something on Thursday. Gee, the weather's going to be nice. We should probably, are you free? Because I'd like to do something outside. And then Friday morning around tea, you go, we could, the beach would be really cool. Like, let's see if we know anybody that wants to go to the beach. Like, that's how you work with Sandra, because you don't call her up Saturday morning and say, yo, what up, bitch? It's hot. Let's go. You don't do that, because she don't cope. So Sandra talking to Kingy. But my thought was, and what makes me kind of, where I went, oh, that was interesting, was my first thought was, Sandra must have said something to Kingy.
Yeah.
Because no way would Kingy just go and say that message. No way. Like, that was my thought. Why the fuck did she send that? Fucking Sandra's talking to her.
Yeah. Yeah. So how do you know this? Or is it what you think?
Oh, I sent Sandra a message. I asked her, like, when I responded back to Sandra from her message, I said, oh, so busy. Like, I was in 110 meetings. 109 of them I didn't need to be in. And that last one could have been an email. So funny, but, such the life, #public servant. And then kind of said, yeah, I had a really rough weekend. I kind of needed the time. Friday was a little funny. And Saturday, it was kind of, I'm trying to deal with information right now. I said, I'm cool though. And I told her that because I'm cool, just trying to deal with this. And when I'm able to put it into words, I'll sit down and I'll talk to you about it. And, you know, maybe you can help me out with it. And she's like, yeah, all right. I'm like, but out of curiosity, you know, Sandra's big on the hashtags. Hashtag not angry, I promise. Totally 110% out of curiosity. But did you see me today? Or Amanda today? And she wrote back, she goes, yeah, I went and I asked Amanda if you went paddling this weekend. She said that you guys had benchmarking. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, so if that's something that doesn't fit well with you, Leslie, and you know that to be true, so there's two things, right? There is an unconscious thing, which is like the example of like with Sandy and her mum, where Sandy, innately, your unconscious mind was like, what about me? Right? So for you, Leslie, if you had an issue around people talking or something like that, it'd be like, oh my God, they're talking about me. However, you know the information to be true. That she did ask about it. So you can definitely, I don't know how you feel about that, but from my own personal experience, I would have like an open or respectful conversation around whatever information is with you. And you know, this is my workspace, you are my friend here, and that is there. And there are some times where I don't like that to be shared. And there are some things that I would like to share with you that I don't necessarily want to be shared with other people. So that she can then understand from that space, because most of the time you may not even care, right? So most of the time we need to understand also the capacity of what we have within us. So sometimes we may not care. Sometimes when we're sitting in it, or we feel vulnerable, or we're just in maybe like a funk energy or not, sometimes it will affect us more, right? Because it's like, hold up, like I don't even know what the fuck's going on with me right now. And then you're having this conversation trying to find out about what's going on there. And it's like, you don't need that kind of energy. This is my own personal experience. So like for me, like my best guidance around that for you is, if you're like, sit with it, and if you're not okay with it, have like an open conversation about it, about how, like, about that, whether you want to keep them like separate. There are some things like I don't mind that you share, however, whatever, it needs to be in your language, your words. And obviously you have this connection with that woman. And like you said, you'll need some lube to ease into it. So you're going to have to figure that out for yourself.
Yeah.
And sometimes it can.
But I kind of was.
Sorry, continue. It's just a
I
bit
was going to
slow.
say, I'm kind of proud of myself, though. Yeah, I know.
Kind of, or actually are?
Because I was. Hey.
You're kind of proud of yourself, or you are proud of yourself?
I'm still trying to figure that out.
So we'll reframe it.
Like I'm going back and forth, being. I find it interesting. I found it interesting because this happened on Monday. I had my first, Sandy, you'll be so proud of me. I had my first breathing and mindfulness session with our fearless leader. And it was really cool. So come to find out, I have a sunshine yellow backpack. I'm quite proud of that.
Sandy,
because my favorite color is red.
Yes,
Yeah,
totally.
So, yeah, mine's yellow. Sunshine yellow, not gold yellow, sunshine yellow. Like I'm talking Crayola sunshine yellow. It's awesome. It's got the little flap with the jaw stick on it. Anyway, so I was able to, like, I just kind of stopped, and I was like, right, that's interesting. Kind of looked at the situation as if I were my best friend. So a part of the situation, but not in the situation, and look at it. So it was almost kind of like, because it was, I one big breath, and just kind of as I blew it out, it was really cool because I just saw all this like sunshine yellow just burst out of me from like everywhere. It wasn't just my toes. It wasn't fingers. It wasn't like the tip of my nose and top of my head. I'm talking shit went fucking everywhere. It was awesome. And it was in a brief second, which is why it went onto the shelf. But it was still that brief second that I went, that's interesting, you know? But I was kind of like, I was standing next to myself and looking at it like as if I had witnessed it happening to my best friend. And I felt that was really cool because it felt like that had just happened to my best friend. So I'm kind of like, you know, I think I'm kind of cool with myself. I think I like myself a little bit.
Oh.
You know? Because it wasn't until you said it just then that I realized what I was feeling when that happened. Like, it might, I would probably like burst into tears if I had to look myself in the mirror. And when you said it, I'm probably going to start trying it. I would like to start trying it. I will pick a day and I will start it, and it will be before the end of the year, where I look at myself every morning and I tell myself I love myself. I've been looking in the mirror and listing 3 things that I like about myself every morning. Stark ass fucking naked, Sandy. I tell you what, just do it. Just do it. Like, look for shit you like. Like, damn, that girl's cute. It's great. So it's kind of the whole Monday thing, like in the morning. It was great. It was kind of like, here's this tool. Because it was a trigger. It was very much a trigger. That text message was very much a trigger. But I took like a big breath in and I relaxed. That was one thing that I put in my backpack, was stay calm. And I did. I stayed calm. And it was just kind of, that was nice. And I just put my phone down and I said, that's interesting. And then went about my work.
Awesome.
It was nice.
Awesome. So I definitely know the Leslie that I met when I first met you may have not behaved that way had that scenario happened.
No, she would have gone, what the fuck, and picked up the phone and called Sandra and been passive aggressive, which I hate because I am not passive aggressive, but you have to be lube, Leslie, you know. So yeah, I'm real proud of myself.
There it is. It's not I'm kind of.
Yeah.
It's I'm real
there
proud.
You go.
I like how
Real
it's
proud of
progressed.
myself. Yeah.
I'm kind of. Actually, I am proud of my best friend. I think I kind of like myself. I'm damn proud of myself. Can you see the progression? If you stay with it. So
yeah.
that is exactly what I'm talking about being with, like, staying with it or leaning into things that sometimes feel uncomfortable. If you stay with it, you will talk it out yourself and you will progress even in that conversation. So that's why this morning when I did that call around self-coaching and self-parenting, video around self-coaching and self-parenting, that's exactly what that does. You literally just gave a demonstration of what self-coaching or self-parenting exactly. You stayed in that. You gave the question, which is that is interesting. Not the question, sorry, the statement. That is interesting. Which, Sandy, by the way, you sorry, random question. You do have the link for the program, yes?
Oh, no, yeah. What do you mean by the program?
For the start here, you do, don't you? You've got start here. In the actual Boss Woman Unleashed program. I sent you the email.
As
And
in
I
an
said,
email?
yeah, like it's a reflection. The folder is a reflection.
Yes, yep.
Oh, sorry.
Yep.
Massive like panic moment there. I was like, oh my God, did I do that or did I not? And you know why? Because it was I did it after 8 o'clock. Hello, brain does not work after like 7:30, let alone 8:30 when I was doing it. Okay, that's all right. That's cool. So yeah, let's for yourself, like, yeah, 100% being able to sit with it and look how much you've learned in that experience. That's huge. That's like winning at life simply in that experience that you just told us. Even for yourself, Sandy, when you were talking about how the reaction with your mom, and then you were like, I asked you, you know, what you think that was about. You literally had thought about it. You are sitting with it instead of reacting to it. So very well done, my conscious
definitely.
boss. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And on that note, I do need to finish up the call because I have YRD now, their group call, which is always very enlightening and interesting. That's who Leslie does dragon boating with. And they're all trying to change the call to like an hour later. And I was like, I don't do later. Like, I don't think you understand that my brain does not work that way. And they're all doing some polling there about because Matt wants to go to the gym or something. And I was like, dude, it ain't going to happen. It's very, very funny. Very, very funny. They're a very funny bunch.
Matt goes to the gym in the morning anyway.
Oh, yeah, I know. His sense of humor is like phenomenal. I really quite enjoy it because I'm like, buddy, are you fucking for real? I don't know if you're being serious, but the answer is no.
Oh, wait till the two. Yeah.
Sorry?
Just wait till it's just the two of you. Wait till it's just the two of you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll look
it's
forward
awesome.
to it. I'll look forward to it.
You're just
All
gonna
right.
laugh. Yeah.
Awesome. Guys, thank you so much for spending the time tonight. Mandy, I'll see you on your private call tomorrow. Leslie, I will be in touch with you. Well, actually, I'll be in touch with you all in the group anyway, because I won't, I don't think I'm going to run a group call next week. There will be one on Saturday, this coming Saturday. I fly out at 7:30 in the morning. However, I need to be at the airport at like 5:30. So I'm not sure what's going to happen on Saturday with the group call. It's going to be a bit fly by the seat of your pants. I'm pretty sure I will have enough time to do it maybe at 6 or 6:30 in the morning, and that is on Saturday. So I'm not sure if anyone will be awake. Oh, Leslie will. Leslie can join. Brilliant. It most likely will be them, but I will let you know closer to the date. And then it is the week off, so there won't be private calls and there won't be a group call, but I will be in the group on live, okay? Cool. All right. Everybody, enjoy your night. Thank you so much. Maybe go see what some mirror work brings up for you. Good night.
Woohoo, love it.
Cool.
Bye.
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 Bye.